Welcome back, everybody. It is a brand new day, a beautiful Monday, my favorite day of the week. Monday. I love Monday. I don't understand why people complain about it. It's like they don't enjoy work. I love work. I like having something to do. If I don't have things to do, I start to go crazy. You know, I was talking to my brother today. He's very similar to me in this aspect. How slow people move drives him crazy. Like, hey, I have this idea. Let's do this thing. And he's like, all right. And then we just do this thing. Like, let's build a shed. Okay, let's do it right now. We'll build a shed today. And we build a shed today. He's like... And then somebody's like, "Oh gosh, I didn't know you really were gonna actually build it. I thought we were just talking about building." It's like, no, look, it's already built. That's like my brother and I get along so well. So I probably talked to him for an hour today. If you're not subscribed to my brother's channel, The Flannel Guys, he is running a channel there, and hey, thank you. And I highly recommend it. It's going to be amazing. It's getting more amazing every day. Eventually, he'll get away from cheap cameras and free software. There's so many things on my desk. Thank you. I was trying to get my wife to play the violin.
Sorry, not today.
She won't do it. I have a song to play for you guys. But all right, so I want to sing a new song for you guys to start out the stream. And I have sung this song in the past, but I never had it all the way worked out. I finally worked it all the way out, and I'm going to be recording it properly very soon, or working out the arrangements and the instrumentations and all that fun stuff, because I have a new David the Good Tunes channel. There is a link to it below, because people kept saying, why don't you put some of your music up? So I'm putting some of my music up, but I'm not putting it up on this regular gardening channel because it will confuse YouTube to death, and because nobody really cares about my songs as much as they care about my gardening videos, except for the few of you that are just amazing. So here we go. This song is called Rubbery Eggs. I played it long ago, but now it's finally done. So this will be the debut of the new song, Rubbery Eggs, by David the Good, on David the Good Records. Woke up this morning to find you had gone. My keys were off the hook, cold eggs in the pan. 10 years we've been struggling, 10 years so far apart. 10 years on that Toyota, can't believe you stole my car. And all I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs for breakfast. All I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs for breakfast. Got on my bike and I rode through the rain. Was so late to work, my boss said not to come again. Riding home I kept thinking about the love we shared, about your long brown hair and how you jacked my car. And all I had for breakfast was rubber When I finally got home, there was a message on my phone. Doc says that he's concerned about the tests that they've done. Unemployed and maybe terminal. Could things get any worse? Then the radio man comes on and says Yellowstone has finally burst. And all I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs, rubbery eggs for breakfast. And all I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs, rubbery eggs for breakfast. So this is how I'll go, in a pyroclastic flow. They'll dig me up one day, and everyone will know. And all I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs, rubbery eggs for breakfast. I hope it's not too moving for some of you out there, not too personal. It's nice to see you all. I finally managed to record a video. I was going to record videos on Saturday. And you know what? I just got tired of working. I just got tired out. I said, what am I working so hard for? Now, I don't know. It may just be that it's Alabama summer. Why am I doing this? But I was like, oh man, I kind of wish I owned my own land. I kind of wish that if I planted a tree, I knew that I was actually going to be around to harvest it. I was having some of these kind of thoughts. And I thought, you know what? The best thing I could do is sit underneath this tree and drink a beer and talk to my wife and stop hoeing in 90-degree weather. I just don't need to do that right now. I'm just going to stay here and talk to my wife. So we got out the 2 folding chairs and we sat underneath the shade and we looked at the gardens that needed to be hoed and we looked at the tomatoes that needed to be tied. And we just hung out for a while. And then I said, you know what? I could take the kids swimming. Let's go swimming. Now we have an elderly neighbor who is a wonderful woman, and we have gone over to her house back and forth. Some of my younger kids go over and play board games with her, and she said, oh, you guys can use the pool anytime you want. Now, there's a lot of us, so we don't normally go and do that, but I said, all right, today we will call that pool ticket because it's hot. So I took the kids swimming, and Rachel gave the little ones swim lessons, and then we went around that afternoon, and we picked blueberries, and I tested out a lens on the camera and some stuff I'd been meaning to try that I hadn't gotten around to, like a no pressure. I'm just gonna go and take pictures and film a little bit, see if we can get like a cool video out of it. And I think we will get a cool video out of it, but there's a lot of work that has to go in between me filming a bunch of stuff and then actually turning it into a video. So all that to say, I didn't really get anything done on Saturday that I could turn around and post Monday morning. I get to Monday morning, I'm like, man, maybe I should have actually worked on Saturday. But no, I spent time with the family. It was fine. It all worked out okay. But I finally filmed a video that I can put together pretty quickly for Tuesday. So I'll probably try to post that middle of the day tomorrow or something. But anyhow, no, Dan says there's never a guarantee you'll harvest from a tree. And that rhymes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for me. Thank you for thee. There's never any guarantee you'll harvest from a tree. Karen, thank you very much for the the mic drop. The mic drop pair. That's hilarious. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So, it's nice to see you guys. Nice to see everybody here this evening. I didn't really have a super big plan for today, but I figured, hey, I will show up, answer gardening questions. It's nice to see you all. And I like I said, I put a new channel up, David the Good Tunes. If you find David the Good, I've got to find it. David the Good Tunes. There is a link below. But for those of you that want, I got all the music. It's there. 250 subscribers. Cool. It's just the music. So as I record music, I'll put it up there. And I have been, I've been kind of lax on putting the music together, and because I always think, well, really, if I put a song out, what am I going to make? I always have to look at it sometimes, not always, but often I look at it in dollars and cents. If I put in 8 hours writing, mixing, recording, posting this song, what will that return me compared to what if I got a video that got, 100,000 views? Because there's always that possibility I might get a video like my harvesting rainwater video that gets to 1 million views. It happens very rarely with me. Once it gets past you guys, like the first few thousand views, most of my videos just stop. But there's always that possibility. And I know if I record a song, I'll get a few people will buy the download, and people will say that they enjoyed it and it's fun. But then I look and go, was it really worth spending an entire day to put the song together? I don't know. I don't know yet. But I decided, since people keep asking, I'll do it. Why not? I'll do it. So, we will see. Adam says, almost want to put ice in a wood chipper and stand in front of it. I agree. So, hi Tyson. Nice to see you. Tessa. I know, once you told me that I said your name right the first time, I'm like, I will never get it right again. It's Savannah, Scott, Mad Jeeper, Peggy, Bradley's Adventures, Liberty Not Licensed. Man, we've got like all the people here. Hey, Cassie. So, thank you very much. Carolyn sends a $20 super chat, says, for your own land fund. Oh, it's soon. It's like, I hope so. My property did finally sell down in the Caribbean. It's closed. It's not that much money. It's certainly like, it's not even like a down payment on a house here, honestly. But Thaisa. Good. Okay, got it. Thaisa. Yes, the Squirrel Terra Preta song is there on the channel. For those of you who are members, you saw I released a video that was members only. The Squirrel Terra Preta, where I did some creative gardening. Got rid of them varmints that got in my car. But yes, praise the Lord, Dan says. Praise the Lord that the land is sold. That is an anchor off of our boat. It took, oh my goodness, what did it take? 7 months from going under contract to closing. So next time you complain about the post office, remember it's worse elsewhere. The post office there, I once got a letter that was like 4 months late, and it had traveled 4 miles. But anyhow, yeah, for those of you that are members, don't miss the Squirrel Terra Preta video. I didn't put it out on the main channel because I don't think the normies will appreciate it. It's a little out there. So if you're a member, it's in the member thing. So yeah, I'ma pop those suckers. Yeah, so you guys like I'ma pop those suckers? That is on the new channel. It's pretty funny. I think it's funny. I like it. I think it's good. Oh, yeah, here we go. I wonder if I can Okay, wait a minute. I know what I could do. I think I could drop it directly in and play it through. Let's see if we can do that. I will subject you guys to this rap song. I will debut it to the world via Goodstream. But for those of you who are on the other channel, you've already seen it. So it's I had to do a song. Everybody said kill the squirrels, right? Kill them. Not everybody. Some people are like, I relocate them because my wife gets upset if I kill them, you know. Get your corn back. So here we go. Ready?
I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. 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 Boom.
Back on the mic and I'm starting a route. D to the G with my 12 gauge pound. Squirrels in my hood all up in my corn. Shedding the cobs, now my ears are shorn. Dropping kernels and shucks, I see DG like KFC. I got a special recipe.
I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. 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 Boom.
I come with my long shotgun. Knock you out the branches and now boom, you're done. I said boom over there and boom over here. Tree rats getting whacked on shelter. Work hard for my corn and they took it away. So 12 gauge engaged, I'm in the rage, gonna make them pay. With my boom boom, with my boom to boom to boom boom, with the boom boom
I'ma pop
boom.
those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. Boom.
What about organic means like cayenne teas?
No, please.
Compost your enemies. Electric fences and defenses pale instead. I'm seeing red and I'm pumping the guts full of lead. Try to tap trees, I'll cut you off at the knees. 8 shot in my barrel, gonna cure the disease. You bag of fleas, stay away from the corn. I'ma leave you wishing that you ain't been born. See a rustle and a hustle, got the lead by the door. Looking up into the trees and I see you with my corn. Boom boom, and the squirrel goes pop. Down to the ground, I'ma watch you drop out like a light. Flat out your ball. Boom boom boom, I'ma kill them all.
I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom. I'ma pop those suckers. Boom. I'ma drop those suckers. Boom.
Thing down here. Anyhow, the whole thing is on the channel, and I think you will enjoy blasting it in your car in a squirrel-infested park. I think we're up to 12 kills so far, but we didn't. Not all of them ended up in the garden. Some of them fell into the woods somewhere, and we couldn't recover them. But on goodness, what was it? On Friday, I went to go fill the chicken waterer from the. There's an overflow on the pond that's got a okay, so there's a pipe that runs off the top of the pond, and it's got some screening on it, and it just perpetually runs because there's a spring on the other side. And so I went down there with the chicken waterer, and just to go fill it up, because I always fill it off of that pipe because it's always running. And I thought, well, you know, it's probably better than giving them chlorine water and just give them a little bit of that good spring water, right? So I put the I go to put the chicken water underneath the pipe, and like right just a little bit in front of me, this big water moccasin, probably a, I don't know, 5 foot, maybe like that big around water moccasin goes zipping by in front of me, and I called one of my sons who had the 22. I said, "Give me that thing!" I'm like, "Pow pow!" And that he rears up in like and opens his mouth, and there's that like scary white cottonmouth thing, right? So my daughter came back with the 12, and we hunted him because he was wounded, but I got him, and he got buried in the garden too. Can't mess around with him. Definitely a water moccasin. Had that thick head, you know, the slit eyes. Holy moly. We knew there was one back there because when my daughter was cleaning out the spring, the snake came up. This was in the winter, so all the snakes are moving slow. Came up, wrapped around the rake that she was cleaning the water out with. So it was freaky. Anyhow, we knew that he was in there, and I've been hoping for a chance to get him because I don't want anybody nailing, and I don't want any of the little kids in particular getting bit. One of my good friend's son almost died from a moccasin bite. It took a lot of antivenom to fix them, and sometimes there's not even antivenom available. They are freaky. I mean, I like nature in general, but this one not worth the risk when you got a 1.5-year-old wandering around the garden nearby. It may be delicious, but I think I would rather eat the snake as vegetables. Like, I just buried it in a trench along with a few squirrels and dumped some charcoal on top, and then some more soil, a little more charcoal, and trenched it in so it's just gonna rot down below there, and I'll get it back in beans and raspberries and other stuff. So Taisa says, we found an alligator in our pond, swam right at us the other day. I think someone's been feeding him. Yeah, they're not good. Lynn says, just saw a child that was bitten by one last week. Yeah, my friend's son almost died. Not a weak kid either, not a small kid. Scary. But anyhow, thank you very much, Carolyn, for the house fund. One day, my hope is that the housing market will completely and utterly collapse again like it did 12 years ago, and I'll get back in. But right now it seems like I just missed the window. I cannot imagine borrowing $300,000 or something to buy a house with land. It's like Man Guy Dude says, is your compost snake to squirrel ratio correct? I think so. I think the snake to squirrel ratio is good. That's funny. Hey Eric, good to see you. Ancient German for snake is Wurm. Nice. So, yeah, don't tell us that 20 pounds of increased muscle mass is from plant protein. That's definitely not. Lou. Nice song. Maybe you could play that next time the Atmore phone tree is engaged. Man. And all I had for breakfast was rubbery eggs. So I've got a couple of songs that I'm working on. I've been trying to get them together, sketching it out. Obviously, if you're just joining us right now, welcome. I am David the Good. Normally we talk about gardening, but tonight we're talking about shooting snakes, and we're talking about music, and I don't know. This is not a normal thing, but if you have gardening questions, I'm happy to answer them. There's the other song. I'm writing a song called Simple Things. That is actually, it's actually kind of like an inspiring song. It's not funny. It's like, some men had it all, women, riches, and a crown, cedar spices, power, and gold, silver poured out on the ground. But there was nothing in everything, 'cause things don't satisfy. More knowledge brings more sorrow, nothing new beneath the sky. Let's see. Birds and blooms and time with family are more beautiful than diamond rings. Take a breath and thank the Lord. There's joy in the simple things. So that's the song I'm working on. I do not have it all worked out yet. It's a little more complicated, and I want to get the lyrics just right, and I want to get the violin parts right so my wife and I can play it together. But thank you very much, Lou, for that. Rubbery eggs. That is a very generous super chat for such a ridiculous song. That is enough to download the song 50 times because I put it up for. I'm gonna put it up for $1. So you're way over. I'm gonna have to send you the album for free. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much. Yeah, Liberty Not Licensed says 300K, more like 1.3 million. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm looking at stuff way out in the sticks. And really for I don't know, 2,500 square feet and 5 to 10 acres, we're looking at, almost $400,000 type of. It's just I don't even understand how people can afford anything. It's crazy. And I mean, I have plenty saved, but it's just a down payment, you're going to be, I would be I just can't even see buying at these prices. It's crazy. I'm just going to rent. I'm just going to rent and complain about the fact that I don't own anything. I guess. I have character issues, I think. Thank you, Lord, for letting me have a nice place to rent. Many people don't even have that. So, Scott, thank you very much. Scott says, $5 isn't much, but it's because you now have a Tunes channel. Thank you. Scott is inspiring. Scott's you have a gift, man. You have a gift of writing weird songs. Here's $5. That's enough for some strings. I believe in you. Thank you. And Taisa said thank you very much for the super chat. It's going to be really cool. I think the song when it comes together, I like it. Let me see here. Anything is open to talk about. Yes. Drew says, how do you keep squash bugs away from the squash plants? I'll tell you, it beats me, man. I know there's got to be some natural way to keep them away. I mean, people say, use neem or use this oil or that oil, or you do this or that or the other thing. But most of my success with them, with beating that kind of issue, is planting as early as possible before the infestations build up to huge levels. And then as long as I can, picking off the bugs and killing them and smushing them, whatever. Caterpillars can be controlled by wasps. If you have enough wasps around, it'll take care of them. But the squash bugs, I have leaf-footed bugs here, and we have the stink bugs and other things, and they do a lot of damage. And it just seems to be a seasonal thing because later in the year they're just gone again. So, Manga Dude says, I never would have planted a mulberry if it weren't for the stories you told about them. I appreciate that. I mean, my dad was a storyteller. My dad actually wrote a book called Storyteller's Bible Study for Internationals. My dad's name was Bill Perry. He died in an accident a few years ago. And great man and a good storyteller. And he said, the Bible is full of stories. God revealed a lot of things to us through stories. And if you think of how stories can convey information and change your entire thinking about something, it's amazing. I met an artist, and the artist is almost completely blind. We're talking, he cannot see, he walks with a walking stick, and he paints pictures. He was talented at art. His name is Ricky, and he is a Lower Alabama artist, a blind painter. Like, a blind painter? How does this work? Well, he knows where the colors are on his palette, and he arranges them the same way all the time. And he uses a paint that you can feel it like a texture paint where he'll put it down to draw the outline so he can feel the outline as he's drawing it and he knows where it is. And then he paints inside of it and fills it in with the colors, knowing where it is on the wheel. And people buy his paintings. They buy his paintings because there's a great story. In part. I mean, they're cool paintings. They're mostly sea life, like outlines of shrimp and fish and these bright colored crabs and different sea animals. But he said, you know, when I could see, before I was injured, he was injured twice actually. He said, when I could see, I used to draw in black and white, and I drew very intricate black and white pictures. He says, now that I'm blind, I paint in color. And you know, it's funny because I didn't know that I was going to meet him. I met him in person because we were invited over to some friends for lunch, and it turns out he was their son-in-law. Well, I met him after church on Sunday. But I had known about his art because a few of his paintings had been bought by a friend of mine who lives in this area, and he said, there's this artist who's so good, and he's blind, dude. He's blind. So I bought his pictures. It's amazing. It's like, wow, that's cool. See, now there's a story attached to it. You remember the story of the boy who cried wolf? Because there's a story attached to it. You know, if he's like, you know, if you just keep warning people and you don't mean it, you know, like one day people are just not going to believe you. Well, that's okay. You've conveyed the information. But the boy who cried wolf getting eaten by a wolf, great story. The story of the fox and the sour grapes. There's grapes hanging over the pathway. The fox, Aesop's fable. The fox can't reach the grapes. He jumps and he jumps and he jumps and he jumps. And he finally goes, they're sour anyways. I'm sure they're sour anyways. And he goes away. He's like, you know a person like that. But the idea of trying to reach for something, not being able to get it, and then, nah, you know. So there's a lot of information that can be conveyed through stories. So sometimes sometimes I'm guilty of telling something rather than making the story about it. And sometimes I'm better at it. My dad was very good at telling stories. So, you know, telling the story of how we discovered the mulberry, which the mulberry variety is now named Rachel Goodman. So if anybody sells you a Rachel Goodman mulberry, I found and named that variety and got it into cultivation because it is such a good variety. But when we were kids, it was the tree down in South Florida growing excellently in zone 10/11, you know. Very good sweet tart fruits, good balance between sweet and tart, not insipid. Very beautiful leaf structure. And so I named it and propagated it and kept it. So yeah, if you tell a story, it's way better than just explaining sometimes, you know. Oh, mulberry's a great tree, you should grow one. It's better to have a story about it. People love stories. People want to know the story of where their coffee came from. If you know the story behind an artist, I mean, most of the time I've told people, he's like, you want to be an artist? You got to be a marketer. You have to market yourself, because when people buy your art, right, they're investing in you. 1 million people could paint flowers. But if my neighbor is a flower painter and he paints a story to it, he's not just this flower painter, he's the guy that captured grandmother's roses, you know. It's different. So I have to find him. Let me see. I'll see if I can find him. Maybe somebody's found him in the stream already. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. Jan says, best professional dishwasher I've ever known was blind. I think my kids are blind when they wash the dishes. No, that's not very nice. All right, I think I found him. Just a second. We traded information. There we go. Yeah, Ricky Trione. Let's see if I can find his website for you guys. His website for you guys. So he uses a lot of texture. It's basically a lot of sea life, which works because he's like right on the, right on the Gulf. Let me see here. Here you go. Check out Ricky's art. Gamiisa says, my grandma went blind later in life. She grew the most extraordinary garden, and she never quit or complained. That's really a wonderful thing. My dad once told me something similar, like, don't complain. Think about not saying anything negative for a day. How hard is it? It's hard. It's impossible. Okay. Taisa says, I found lists of crops I've never heard of that sound interesting, but I can't find whether or not they are worth growing in 9B. Mashua, Aloka, Oka, and Maka, and others. Okay, that's... Sorry. Let me tell you how to grow. I have not grown any of those crops. So no, none of them are worth growing because I never heard of them. My gosh, you kids with your weird crops. It's disgusting. It's like, you can't just grow potatoes. Why don't you just grow potatoes? I hate this. It's like, oh no, I've got to grow some Mashua. I've got to grow some Moloko. No, grow a potato. You probably can't even grow a potato, Taisa. Oh my gosh. The moral of the story is not to tell the same lie twice. Oh my goodness. That's funny, Steve. I don't know if he's on YouTube. Karen says, I have a Rachel mulberry. I've never eaten a mulberry in my life, but had to buy a tree because it's named after Rachel. Oh, that's cool. Squirrel Farm said, did any of your cuttings take off? I've got more coming to you. No, I don't have any that took off. Failed. But I did start some other mulberries. I started some more of the dwarf mulberries. It's not a great mulberry, but it's okay. It's like a filler mulberry. But the Rachel mulberry that you gave me is in the front yard. It's growing okay. It's not growing very fast because there's too many trees around, but it's growing. It's doing fine. It's a good looking shovel in front of my... Is there a shovel? Oh yeah. This live stream's been canceled because my kids left a plastic gun. Better report it to YouTube. It's pretty good. It's actually got the shell effect. I don't know if that's an Uzi. Please leave a comment. It's funny. I totally didn't even notice that was there. I wonder what else is in here. Ah, never mind. Let's not look. Demonetized. There are dang kids leaving their automatic weapons all over the house. Somebody play pumped up kicks. All right, here we go. Barley Legal says, trying to avoid mosquito bites, your experiences with permethrin or full mesh suits. I've not tried either. I have found that if you smoke a big cigar, they don't seem to like that very much. But it's hard to keep smoking cigars. Like, I'm on my 5th Romeo and Juliet. I can't hope the mosquitoes don't kill me. Kill me. You know. Yes, I know they're root crops. I'm just playing with you, Taisa. Of course they're root crops, Mashua. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we grew big fields of that when I was a kid. I don't know about the invisible gorilla experiment. I think my kids have played games like that though. I'm a gorilla. Ah! No, you can't see me. I'm an invisible gorilla. Ah! It's got the orange safety cap for your... Yo, good. Gotta take that off so it looks real. Yes, I could graft the dwarf mulberry. I can graft on top of it. NatGreen76 says, 6th Street fruited for me this year. So good. Yeah, it's a good variety. That variety was discovered by Craig Hepworth. Cancel culture takes another victim. Huben says, where does one get a Rachel Mulberry? Scrubland Farms. And farms is with a Z on the end. Scrubland Farms. It's a nursery in the middle of Florida. If you look them up, find them on Facebook, Scrubland Farms. You could probably get one through the mail, actually. Mac 10. Pumped Up Kicks. Okay, so my kids like to start playing Pumped Up Kicks when I tell them to do the dishes. I think it's hilarious. I don't know. Gosh. I was homeschooled, I'm sorry. Cool, awesome, Scrubland. I'd love to have you come up, man. It's always a blessing. Yes, off does keep them away. We did that when we were in the jungle, and it works. Mosquito is the state bird for Alaska. I think they got to get all their work in the very short growing season. So there's another song... There's another song that I am going to try and record soon. By the way, if you're just joining us, I started a David the Good Tunes channel. So if you like the music and you want to go subscribe, I'm not going to put all the songs on my regular YouTube channel. I keep putting them in my videos, but it seems to mess up YouTube's algorithm when I do music. I'll put a music video or something up, and then they're like, "Oh, I thought this was a gardening channel. I don't know who to recommend this to," you know. So there's this song that I'm just gonna hack the first part of it out here. Cup of tea. My heart skipped a beat and I had to agree. Yes, she's the one for me. She says she's working on her master's degree. We'll stay together forevermore, just you and me, and I love you, sure. Brushed up against me as we headed up the stair. My heart beat a little faster at the thought of what we might share. As the door opened, a scent came from inside. I stifled a sneeze and horror filled my eyes. I said, no, this just can't be. There's cats on the table and cats on every seat, and there's cats on the bookshelf and cats under my feet. I never wanted to meet so many cats. When she caught my eye, I saw I must have looked afraid. And she pressed up against me and asked if I were okay. Despite her face and the longing in her eyes, I knew it was so crazy, but not this kind of crazy. I can't be with a cat lady. I'm sorry, sis. Toxoplasmosis. I'm sorry, sis. Toxoplasmosis. Anyhow, that's kind of the way it goes. It will all get together soon. It's kind of like a cross between Third Eye Blind and Blues Traveler. You know. So I'm working on it. It's going on the channel. Funny stuff. Look at all those cats. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, I remember the invisible gorilla experiment. I think I read that in the book Thinking Fast and Slow, which my brother-in-law recommended to me. I remember that. When your brain is focusing on one thing, you lose the next. So, Mike is in a library right now. So anyhow, I'm gonna hack this song together. Third Eye Blind is a name I haven't heard in a long time. Bad Dreams is not on the channel. It will be, Jan, eventually. I've got to do a lot of things. I have a lot of music to do, and that's also partly the reason I didn't get a video up over the last few days, was because I was too busy going through all of my Pro Tools files and going, hey, oh yeah, I should do that one, you know. So, AM is a crazy cat lady and plant lady. They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, cats don't destroy your plants. I'll tell you, it's hard to be a crazy goat lady and a plant lady, because your one crazy is going to eat your other crazy. I feel called out by that song. Christy's a crazy cat lady. Halitosis rhymes with toxoplasmosis, but how do you fit it in? I'd rather date a girl with halitosis than get myself a case of toxoplasmosis. Yeah. 30,000 Years is going to be recorded. My problem with 30,000 Years is that song is made for the piano. It really is supposed to be a song on the piano, and it sounds beautiful on a piano, but I only have an electric piano. It's just not quite right, so I haven't put it together. I need to do it, but yeah. Well. Yeah, there we go. We haven't done anything weird in this stream. A lot of gardening in this stream, though. David the Good Tunes. My new channel, which is there just so I don't confuse YouTube. I'm going to go look. Let's see. How many subscribers do I have now on the David the Good Tunes channel? Let's see. Hey, 267. That's not bad. Apparently, I can't even monetize that channel. I can't run ads on it or make any money off it until it hits 1,000 subscribers. And then there has to be a certain amount of time where videos have been watched or something like that before it gets there. It's been a while since my own channel was so small. But yeah, you know, it needs probably need to throw in a little bit of harmonica there, Belt Loop 29. That would be cool. Betty says, does your church have a decent piano? Yes, it does. The difficulty is recording it well. Like, if I have Pro Tools, on this computer that I'm talking on right now. It's a desktop. And on this desktop computer is where I do all my mastering and most of my recording. But to take this huge computer setup and my microphones and everything to church to record is a little bit of difficulty. It could be done. I'm thinking about it. Pastor doesn't mind. Actually, our pastor is a really, really good guitar player, like way, way better than me. And he said that he would record some guitar parts, which would be kind of cool. Yeah, Taisa. 30,000 Years is supposed to be a bit of a sad song. Yeah, Mike, I got a David the Good Tunes channel now. So, Mike says, do you know if the Arbutus Unido strawberry fruit tree can be grown in Nashville? Yeah, I believe so. I think it's a zone 6/7. I would probably shelter it when it's young and take care of it when it's young to make sure that it, because the cold tolerance on trees like that increases as they get older. So if you could plant it in a somewhat sheltered location, it would probably do better. I do have a prepping channel as well. 1K subs, 4K watch hours. I could do some lives. Hey, if you guys subscribe to the Tunes channel, how about I do some live, just music streams over there? We could do that. I could do a music stream. I could announce it on this channel, and then go over there, and I probably could talk Rachel into playing violin. We could do a set of hymns, or we could do a set of originals. We could do a set of both, so. It's funny, Liberty Not Lesson says, someone here was obviously given an extra measure of talent. Yeah, I know, Karen. It's amazing, but... Bagpipes with flames out the top. Oh, yeah. I could probably record the song and then fix it at home and record the music. I might be able to use the mics at church to record the piano. That's not a bad idea. I could probably work it out. It's not. Actually, Prepper Advantage was somebody else hired me to make videos for them. Prepper Advantage hired me to do a set of videos. They hired me for like 2 or 3 months, and that was it. Then I didn't hear from them again. So I was like, I'll make videos for you, sure, for a while. We're gonna make Scott do that book. Titus says, subscribe to the Tunes channel. Very excited. This should count as your record. No, I'm gonna do a real record. Don't worry. Barley Legal says, Barley Legal. Wow. How do you filter shower gray water to use in the garden? Reeds, water scarce in LA. I wouldn't filter it at all. Gray water, if you use it like right out of the shower, use it within 24 hours or so, it doesn't even start to stink or anything. It's fine. I ran the water out of my sink with food scraps and everything through a pipe, perforated PVC pipe. Sink, all the slop went down the sink and it went into this perforated PVC pipe, this long piece of pipe, and I mulched over it and I planted bananas next to it. Every once in a while I'd have to clean it out because it would start to back up because the bananas like to stick their roots in it, but you can run gray water right into the garden, water with it, etc. It'll be fine. I would not worry about gray water. It's when the water sits around and gets rancid and anaerobic for a period of time. They say it can sometimes stink or whatever, but I would probably still use it. If you wanted it to be nice, yes, you could run it through a bed of just about any kind of aquatic plants, because what happens is those aquatic plants accumulate the proper bacteria. I have a book called Make an Oasis with Gray Water that I read some years ago when I was experimenting, and I just decided to completely bypass all of that nice stuff and just run stuff right out. I never worried about it. Lovecat says, did anyone catch the U.S. Botanical Garden channel's live stream of the corpse flower blooming? It was 333 hours long. That's amazing. If you just look up Super Duper Prepper 77, all one word, Super Duper Prepper 77. I'm trying to get through the comments here. Scott gave me the recording with his lyrics. His lyrics were a lot of fun. He gave me a recording of the song, but it was not recorded like super well. He recorded it as kind of a, all right, David, here's a song. And I have it. I could post it if Scott says I can go ahead and post it. But it's not, the audio is not as good as most of his videos. And it's kind of blown out a little bit. But if he wants to do a recording, like a snazzier recording of it, I'd be happy to. But I know he was just kind of like, here you go. I don't think he expected me to make it too famous, you know. Let's see. Lovecat says we got some nut sedge from a local creek to eventually pass gray water through. Yeah, and if you do, you can get some things that are double duty, like water hyacinth. You could turn around and compost it, you know, harvest it and compost it. Gypsy B says, I liked your brother's rain garden. Yeah, well, he'll appreciate that. My brother is Brian from The Flannel Guys. If you look up The Flannel Guys, that's my brother's channel. I need to do more Super Duper Prepper 77 videos. Arkansas Woodcutter says, speaking of sound, any cheap mic recommendations? For what? For recording voiceovers in your house or for recording on a camera? I have recommendations for both. Send me an email. Tell me what you're looking for, and I will recommend mics. I used to work in radio, so I'm really good at finding the cheap stuff because I worked on a budget. I was a freelancer. So drop me an email, david@floridafoodforests.com, and tell me what you're looking for a mic for, and I can make some recommendations. Holy moly. Matthew says it's 116 degrees in Washington State. That is unbelievable. Wow. So, well, I don't know if I have anything else to sing to you guys, but I'm glad that you liked the I'm glad that you liked the I'ma pop that sucker. Super duper Prepper 77. You should be able to find that. Hello, Mrs. Green Thumb. We should end with a song. Poke 'em in the eye. Oh yeah, we should put that one on the channel too. Little Susie don't like hamsters 'cause they sneak into a room at night. Got a pen under her pillow so she can poke 'em in the eye, poke 'em in the eye. Won't let them catch her sleeping. She'll be alive when the hamsters are creeping. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Little Johnny loves a hamster named Brian. Gives him all his hugs and kisses. Sending out the hamster haters and the friends sink and swim with the fishes. Well, snakes all smile and the lizards laugh. Brian the hamster, Johnny's little golden calf. So sing a song of picket fence, sing a song of pie. All my little homeboys poke 'em in the eyes. Then around the wheel, press your face up to the glass. Smile with your eyeballs, that has a pretty hamster's past. I'll see a carving knife, but they got short tails. Poking eyes is a way of life, at least we are not snails. Well, Vic the Slick is on a kicky lick, making some shtick over who flicked his Vic. But he got nicked by Bisquick Dick, who with tricks, ticks, adequate bit. I pick up sticks, well, they try to throw pies at the multicolored flies, wearing their itty bitty suits and ties. But the flies are quick and they know the trick. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Well, the hamsters I know are too cool for school. Now, what is it? The hamsters I know are too cool for school. You know I take 'em swimming in my hamster swimming pool. So grab your sneakers, teach your hamster how to fly. And if he gets rowdy, just poke 'em in the eye, poke 'em in the eye, poke 'em in Yeah. You know, I've written multiple instrumentals, and sometimes you'll hear them like in the background of some of my videos. Like, something like that. But there's more pieces to it, and then you have to layer it. You have to have the bass. Yeah. Putting the boss in the bossa novas. You remember when I was just a bossa nova singer? Do you remember that? You remember, we don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave those kids alone. Leave those kids alone. All in all, it's just another break in the wall. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. We don't need no education. We don't need no, yes, we don't need no thought control. No thought control. Leave those kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. So I was a bossa nova singer before I became a writer, before I became a YouTube singer. I identify as a bossa nova singer. And you can't take that away from me. You need that cool air, baby, I ain't fooling. I'm going to send you back to school and way down inside, honey, you need it. Going to give you my love, gonna give you my love. Got a whole lot of love. Got the whole lot of love. Got the whole lot of love. Yeah, there you go. It's a beautiful mess. Turn off the news and grow a garden. Yeah, why not? I agree. I don't watch the news. Who watches the news? It's a bunch of lies. Basically, like, I would say 99% of the news is lies and distortion. I can go out in the garden, plant beans, harvest beans, grow a garden. You can grow a garden. And you're going to get what you're going to get. You're not going to be told nonsense by those plants. The plants are trustworthy. Take care of them. They'll take care of you. Yeah, I don't pay any attention to the news. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much, Joe. $3 for the tip jar. Love all the songs played today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Thaisa. I appreciate loving the music. That's so much fun. Michael, man, it's good to see you. Squirrel Interment Fund. That's hilarious. They need. I have to put a. I have to. That you know what? That'll buy me some more 2 3/4 8-shot. Better not say anything else. Another box of squirrel treats from Walmart World. Thank you very much. That's very generous of you. And thank you, Karen, for the dancing lemon super chat. You know, the plants are just not worth that. They can't stand that weather in the Pacific Northwest. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid in South Florida and it froze, and I mean, the tops of people's palms died and all kinds of crazy stuff. Terrible. Man. Yeah, you gotta water with Brondo, that's right. Arkansas Woodcutter says irrigation coming with rain catchment. You know, I've thought about it, but I've also thought, why would I invest anymore? I don't own the land. Like, I'll plant the trees. I got some trees. Landlord said, go plant some trees. That's great. So I planted the trees. But it's like, do I want to go buy a rain barrel? Do I want to do irrigation? Do I want to figure out how to ram pump water from the pond? Or do I just want to stop? I just do my regular gardens, garden with the rain, garden with a hose. You know, it's just like, how much do you want to pour in? I don't know. I like the idea of playing around with the ram pump and stuff. And if I owned this land, I would be pumping water from that pond in a heartbeat. And I would be catching all the water. And I would put gutters around the house. And I would plant gardens up like right to the back of the house. I would clear out a few trees so we could get a little more sunshine and get the roots out of the gardens, because I think that the active root growing season is here, and I think the trees are robbing a lot of the very limited fertility out of the gardens. But you know, it's the kind of stuff that you do when you own the land. It's like, you know, you're going to be here 10, 20 years or even 5 years, and I don't know, just don't know. So I'll do the gardens. We're getting so much food, guys. I have lost track. I stopped counting. I mean, I should weigh everything, but man, we're getting like a basket of tomatoes every other day. Like, not a huge basket, maybe like 5 pounds every other day. Rachel made the best, just awesome cooked down tomato sauce. She put Everglades tomatoes, carbon tomatoes, big boy tomatoes, all the tomatoes that we had, and she just cooked it down until it was rich and thick and like just so explosive tomatoey. Oh, it's so good. You know. And what else do we get? Man, we've been getting we got our first of a different variety of blackberry that I hadn't tried before. The blackberry's about that big, and they were very sweet and very good. We didn't get a lot of them, but there's one. I bought a variety, multiple varieties of blackberries. I don't know which variety it was, but they were very big and sweet, so it's the one I'm going to duplicate more. Mrs. Green Thumb says, how has your worm been doing, David? It's doing fine. I don't think there's enough worms in it. I think that there were just not enough worms in each cup. We've got some soldier fly larvae in it, the worms are in there. They're working it, but it's slow. It's not as fast as I would like to see. They did manage to chew all those collards up, which is cool. Dan dehydrated 500 cherry tomatoes. That's great. Have a good night, Savannah. Yeah, I'm. What do I want to do? You know, do I want to go crazy with planting and everything? I don't think I want to work super hard. I've got it set up so now the garden makes a lot of sense. It feeds the family. It feeds the squirrels. We've got fresh food every day, man. I mean, roasted potatoes. We're still eating potatoes. We got so many potatoes. Roasted potatoes. For dinner, Rachel made beef stew, and it had our cabbages in it. It had some pumpkin in it. It had tomatoes in it. There's herbs out there. Shucks, the eggplants have been so good. And Rachel's been eating the Brazilian cucumbers, and I don't know, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Brazilian cucumbers from the garden. We've been eating quite a few beans. I'm letting the rest of the beans go to seed because it's starting to get hot and I want some dry beans. I'm going to experiment. Speaking of dry beans, I got something really cool today. I got this from George. George sent me a nice letter, and he sent me a few packets of seeds here. Some Little Dutch tobacco. Look at all that. That's enough tobacco to plant an acre right there. The seeds are itty bitty. Some cardoon. I have never grown cardoon before. From Algeria. Easier to grow than artichokes, which is good because I killed all the artichokes I planted this year. And turkey craw beans. Turkey craw beans, which are a good dry or pole bean, and they're very pretty. I've never grown them before, but I'm excited about that. And oh yeah, cucumbers. We've been getting a lot of cucumbers too. I'm getting tired of cucumbers. So that was pretty cool. Thank you very much for that, George. I'm very appreciative. I have a problem with seeds. I'm actually getting a second freezer. Somebody from church said, we have this old freezer. It's really rusty, but it runs great. There's nothing wrong with it. Do you want it? Like, it looks bad, but if you want it, I'm like, yes, we want it. So that will be the seed freezer. And I've got some silica gel coming. I'm going to do a video for you guys on seed saving and saving seed long term, like in the freezer. And I'm going to work on that. I've got some good information from Steve Solomon plus my own stuff. And we are going to do a seed saving video, like a big old, I think we'll probably do like a 45-minute long, full-on demonstration, multi-part, like one of my long-form presentations. And yeah, we'll do a seed saving video, I think. It's that time of year. I've got stuff coming in, and we're saving seeds for the next season now. So that'll be fun to do that. I just haven't got around to it because it's really kind of complicated. Plus, it's been raining and raining and raining. And rain is not the right time to go out and harvest seed pods. It's just too much. A whole seed freezer. Jesus says, I want to plant some of a bag of 15 bean soup just to see what happens. I've done it before. It works well. What happened with the huge beans that are illegal? Oh, the ones with where Scott appears at the end of the video, the big African beans. They all rotted. Nothing happened. And I'm upset by it because the guy who sent them to me said, hey, multiple people have them growing now. They're a real vigorous vining bean. And I'm like, mine all rotted. What did I do wrong? Why? Scream at the sky. Why did you do this to me? And so I'm kind of disappointed. Steve says, do you can or do you go through the food too fast? Most of the time we don't bother canning because we go through the food so fast. I mean, we have 9 children and 1 on the way. So that is a lot of food. And so what I tend to do is grow food for each season and keep planting new stuff throughout the year, so we've always got fresh vegetables for the table, and trying to can it. Usually, I mean, that many children will demolish a gallon of cherry tomatoes. I mean, it's gone. So what looks like a lot of food to normal, non-procreative people is like nothing when it comes to my crew. So we eat a lot of food, and generally, I mean, some of it we managed to freeze. The neighbor grew some sweet corn. We went down and harvested a bunch of it. They weren't going to do it. They were just like, "Oh, harvest it and just give us some when you freeze it." So we went down there, and Rachel froze a bunch of bags of it and canned some of it. I mean, we know how to can. We do can sometimes. We can specialty things, like Rachel's made chow chow and cucumbers from all the cucumbers that we got in, and she's made her own tomato sauce. That sort of thing that we would have been buying otherwise, maybe. You know, it works, but... Mrs. Green Thumb says, what is your favorite fruit and vegetable to grow? I really like growing pumpkins. Pumpkins are probably my favorite, with yams and cassava as close seconds. I really like digging up root crops. The ones I dislike growing the most are carrots. I dislike growing carrots, and I dislike growing beets. And I don't care at all about lettuce. I just don't care about it. And I'm not really a salad eater that much. I eat a lot of vegetables right in the garden when I'm grazing through the garden. I usually take a little child out with me, or a couple of kids. You know, the baby likes to go out in the garden every day, and she likes to pick strawberries and pick blueberries. She refuses to eat the cherry tomatoes. She just won't eat them. She'll eat beans. She'll pull the tops off of onions and eat those. She will eat the flowers off the marigolds sometimes. But I tend to just saute a mess of vegetables and eat them. I don't eat a lot of salads, so like lettuces I don't really care about. I really like growing corn, but I like growing grain corn. So there, I hope that's enough. That's a good answer. Yes, it's good we're growing our own food. Carrots would be awesome in the winter. I just don't like the how finicky they are about germination and growing well and everything. I always get weird split ones. Ugly carrots. They need a certain amount of fertility in the soil, and I've usually been in such bad soil that I don't like it. Dissing the lettuce. Well, I don't care if you grow lettuce. But I mean, I'll even eat I eat the okra off the plants in the garden. I may even eat turnips right in the garden sometimes. I will eat radishes in the garden. I like growing daikons because they're huge. They look cool. I don't really care about eating them. I mean, I just like to grow them. I don't even care about eating pumpkins all that much. I just like to grow them. I will eat them. I think that our Seminole pumpkins were pretty good and enjoyable. I like butternuts. But it's not like, yes! Pumpkin! I'm so glad we have pumpkin tonight. It's like I don't really get excited about it. I like growing hot peppers, but I always get sad when I'm in climates where it freezes, because hot pepper plants just start coming into their own. They get bush size, they start really producing, and then it freezes and kills them. Whereas if you live in the tropics, you can keep those things going for years. But, oh well. Lettuce is a little picky. It likes high soil fertility, it likes cool weather, and if you get a lot of sun, it likes a little shade. If you get too much shade, it likes a little sun. It doesn't like it too hot, doesn't like it too cool. It gets bitter at the drop of a hat. You know, there are better climates for lettuce than where I have grown. But it's actually not it's not that hard to grow. If the weather outside is like 50s and 60s, and you take a pot with some decent soil in it. I mean, just like good potting soil, little compost in it. Rip open a package of lettuce seeds and sprinkle it over the top, and you'll grow lettuce. But it's got to be when it's cool, you know. Well, Scott, you got to come back and bring me the hot peppers, and I have your raspberry too that you left here. Pickled okra is great too, but I'll eat it straight in the garden because it's too much work to pickle it. I have some red corn of some sort, Joe. A couple of people gave me corn. I was thinking of planting them all together and seeing what happens. I'm thinking about planting another like a second round of corn for the fall, but I'm afraid that the insect issues are just going to be way too much for it and it's going to get destroyed. But yeah. Cool. Always game for growing peppers. I planted about 8 or 10 different varieties this year, and they're just really starting to come in. Man, it's great. I eat eggs for breakfast every day. Sometimes eggs with bacon, sometimes eggs with Kaneka sausage, sometimes eggs with ground beef, sometimes eggs with steak, whatever meat. There has to be some sort of meat to go with the eggs, usually. And then Rachel usually sautés vegetables from the garden. So sometimes it's chopped cucumbers or eggplant, tomatoes, and hot peppers, and she will saute them together in coconut oil, and she seasons them, and so you've got your eggs and your delicious sausage, Kaneka, good sausage, and just this big spread of brilliant colored sauteed vegetables. I love it. Yeah, corn for the squirrels. Exactly. That's great, Lynn. Lynn says, sent my 3-year-old granddaughter home with some dried peas she shelled today. Put them in a small pot for her to carry home. What a blessing. What a great thing for you to do. It is so cool. Kaka hot zintel corn sounds great. White kernels that turn blue later. Daikon tractor, yes. That's about right. Hot pickled okra, that does sound good. Well, guys, I'm gonna roll. Yeah, Finca, post a video on that corn, man. I'll repost it. Thank you all for watching. If you are, oh, Steve, my email is david@floridafoodforests.com. If you guys want to listen to my music, there is a David the Good Tunes channel now. There's a link below this video, or you can just look up David the Good Tunes. I'm going to post my music over there, and I'm making the music available for download as well. It's $1 a song, but you can watch them all as many times as you want for free on YouTube. So subscribe away if you can, and have a very good night. Have a very good night, all you very good gardeners, all you beautiful people, such encouraging gardeners. Have a very good night, all you good gardeners, a very good night to all you good people. I love you all so much, he loves you all so much. Have a great night.